right. What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. This is Big Games BS, part of Den Media Group, brought to you by, I gotta figure it out if they want me to switch back to ABC because we've been moving a lot of cigars. But even if we were just brought to you by ABC Fine Water Spirits, I still suggest that you go to the humidor and check out their cigar selection. Buy the best of the best. Get whatever you can get from there. They're great. Get all your cutters, your lighters, your torches, everything that you could possibly need from there. And if not, just if you can't get your cigars and stuff from there, don't worry. Come on over here to Goodfellas Cigar Lounge, man. The best cigar lounge in America. Hopefully, in a little bit, we're going to start franchising these bad boys. And you know what that means? We're going to bring the den to you. That means we're going to be traveling. We're going to get real comfortable, intimate. We're going to start our live shows again. Miles doesn't know this, but now he knows. But because we're going to start doing our Monday shows live here at Goodfellas Cigar Lounge before Monday Night Football. So we got obviously Monday Night Football is a big drinking, big smoking, big thing. We're going to come over here, chop it up, talk Jags, do recaps, probably even do a recap show on Sunday nights, just to talk about whatever the game, especially when I'm in town before I have to go on First Coast News and have to do it for 5 minutes. I don't know if anybody really understands. That's the hardest job I have, and the one that I get paid the least is doing the news. But Chris Porter makes it easy. Like, you have to really keep all your opinions short and concise, and and try to make sense. And it's live. There is no buffer. Like, if I mess up, I mess up. So I try not to curse. I have to always pray that I don't curse. I would love to share this more, but for whatever reason, Facebook hates me. And their new the share feature for live videos, like when I'm on Sporadics by fifth quarter with Chris Frazier, which hopefully will be picked up by iHeart soon, or when we're doing NIL movement, which will hopefully be picked up by iHeart soon as well, which hopefully this will as well. And we'll have a whole Den Media network that will be for you guys. That'll be some round-the-clock coverage. Just 2023, we should have a lot of things rolling by 2023 to where you don't really need to listen to anything, especially regionally. This will be where you want to go. We'll have and anybody who's my friend, trust and believe, I'm about to pick up the phone. If you're in sports, I'm going to call you and tell you, hey, you're needed. Your services are welcome here in the death, as I call it, the death row records of sports media. And I know some old heads don't really understand what that means. I was made aware of that, but a lot of people didn't understand what MFTK meant. A lot of people don't understand what a lot of things. A lot of people don't know what pilgrim means. A lot of people don't know what houseword means. A lot of people don't know what a lot of different things I say mean. But once they get it, they love it, and they start to use it. And if you don't understand, that's called marketing. That's why I'm in the position that I'm in, and hopefully soon be in a much better chair. But all that to say is, it's officially lying season. Lying season is upon us for your favorite football teams, for your kids, because in lying season is always renewed when it's a new year. The state of Georgia has been in school for basically 2 weeks right now. State of Florida, boom, officially, at least in Jacksonville, in Tallahassee started last Wednesday. Jacksonville, Florida, we finally send our kids to school today. Everybody acts like they care. Kids are fresh, looking good, hairstyles done. Tons of traffic. Parents are engaged. Your kid is the brightest, smartest kid in America right now. Nobody can stop them. Everybody's smiling. Everybody has straight A's right now. And that's similar to your favorite NFL and college football teams. Everybody's undefeated at this point. Everybody is going to the Super Bowl. Everybody has national championship aspirations. But much like your kids, very few of them are going to even pass. So, like, we just got to make sure, but keep the excitement now, keep the energy, and it's a lot of things. So that's basically what we're going to do. It's going to be heavy FSU, a little bit of Florida, sprinkle in some Miami, talk a little bit of Jaguars, talk about preseason, and then I'm going to end with a special hate o'clock that's near and dear to my heart, because all of the things that I've been afraid of and have kept me from putting my son in certain things. reared their ugly head, not in my son's organization, but in an organization nationally with some celebrities. But before I get into that, let's play catch up. And it kind of all weaves into Florida State, into Lion season. This is the time of year, at least at Florida State, but I'm sure at other universities, that everybody gets together and you start having your booster club meetings. I was at Atlanta Seminole Club. They just had their Spirit Fest where they invited with Ward Dunn, Charlie Ward, teammates of mine, Buster Davis, and Leroy Smith were all up in Atlanta, had a great time talking about the Seminoles. Tallahassee Democrat kind of posted a BS article about Ward Dunn and his feelings on the season. That was my bad. I don't know if I said Charlie Ward was there, but Charlie Ward was there too. Two of the least talking Seminoles that you'll ever meet, two of the greatest Seminoles that you'll ever meet, two of the most genuine people that you'll ever meet. Along with Tampa Club had theirs on August 6th and 7th. I would have gone down there, but I had my book bag drive. Jacksonville Seminole Club just had theirs on Thursday. This past Thursday. I'm going down to Manatee County this Saturday, where the Manatee Seminole Club will have theirs, and I'll get a chance to speak about the upcoming season and a lot of different things. Florida State had some practices here in Jacksonville, got a chance to check out a scrimmage. And a lot of things have happened when it comes to that. It was really, really weird and really, really ironic. I screenshotted this thing, and it's not Jeff Cup for Florida State, one of the best things that happened in Florida State, doing a really, really good job of connecting the past to the present and making sure, like, if you're a former player, hit up Jeff Cup or Miss Carol Moore, who's there, so that you can make sure that you get to practices. They will make sure you are taken care of. You ain't got nothing to worry about with them. Hell, Miss Carol knows most of us. I was shocked that she even recognized me with dreads and as fluffy as I am now. So damn sure it wasn't this big back in the day. But I say all that so you got that. But Jeff sent out an email. It was an email that was only sent to former players, and somehow some troll decides that they want to fuck with me. One, it's a couple things that anybody who knows about me. I don't announce commitments for kids. I may tell you that a kid is trending, or I may say, look out for a commitment, but I never take that away from that kid because they'll never get another opportunity to be able to say about their commitment. And two, I never talk about injuries. Injuries stink, man. It's one of those things in the game. You work your ass off all summer, all off season to get to a certain point, and then an injury happens and things like that. And nobody needs to be able to link those things. Now, sometimes people in message boards have connections to certain people, and things get told, and then they want to be the big boss and put that shit out there, and then now the whole world knows about something that they didn't have no business knowing about. And that stinks. And now what I did do is I had access, because when I did my book bag drop, I went to go see FSU scrimmage. And when I went to go see FSU scrimmage, I saw some things. And one of the things that everybody kept asking me about was some kid named Caden Lyles. And I don't know who. I'm going to be real with you. And I heard OG Ward Dunn say the same thing. I'm not a beat writer. I kind of know certain names. If you're really, really good, obviously I'm going to know you, or you're one of the key players. But if you're like an offensive lineman, you're not in Mikanopi, or I'm not like really detailing, like wasn't a part of your recruitment, I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't know who the fuck you are. And it's not a negative thing. It's just I just don't know until I get to know you. I know Jazz because I got a chance to meet Jazz. And hell, Warchant broke his fucking commitment. And that's how I met him, by telling him that congratulations on being committed. And he didn't commit yet. But Warchant did this, and then, but somehow I'm the guy that gets blamed for fucking everything. And a guy comes and this is how lame some of you are. You literally took time out of your life to create a Twitter profile. And your first message was adding me with a letter that only former players got. So I have no idea how you got access to it. Maybe a former player put it in a message board or whatever. But I didn't talk about anything. I didn't even tell anybody details of the last scrimmage outside of, goddamn, that motherfucking number 5, Jared versus a motherfucker. And I'm going to continue to tell you that Jared versus a motherfucker in a good way. Not in a negative way. That dude is a beast. And I said, he did something that I've never seen before. And Coach Norvell sent me a DM and asked me, hey, man, I'm giving you access to stuff that other guys can't. But again, I want Coach Norvell and all other people to know, and even my Darren Satterfield is my guy. But y'all made it clear 3 fucking years ago, really 4 years ago, I'm not media. So I'm not media. I just happen to own a media company, to be a partner in a media company. Let me rephrase that. And that's just how I go with it. Now the problem is people respect my word, and it's not because I'm better at writing than these motherfuckers. I'm nowhere near as good of a linguist as Bud Elliott or some of these other guys. They're way better than me at that. I just happen to play the game and happen to know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's not my fault, as I consistently say. Every one of those guys are my age or a little bit older, except for Gene Williams. Gene Williams is definitely my senior. But what's sad is that these motherfuckers cover me. Every one of y'all had the opportunity to go do mat drills just like me. You could have walked on. You could have done all of that stuff. And you know what happens when you walk on? You get a chance to play. You know what happens if you get a chance to play? You're called a former player. And you know what former players get to do? Hang out with the current players. I did not prevent you from doing any of that shit. You did that on your own. You decided the path that you have, and you cover Florida State from the perspective that you cover. And y'all do a pretty decent job outside of sometimes being haters. Like what I did to my dog CJ is asinine. I can't believe some of y'all fixed y'all lips to go cry that a guy who never played at Florida State got a chance to see something, and he talked on a Twitter Spaces, not a podcast, didn't write an article, talked on the Twitter Spaces about the damn scrimmage 2 days afterwards, after all of y'all did your own podcast about the damn scrimmage that none of y'all were at. Talking as if you were there. He did what you did. He did what all of y'all did. And all of y'all did was, in anything that anybody can say about me, all I did was corroborate things that Coach Norvell said in his press conference. But moving forward, so we got a letter, and it said, please don't talk about injuries, don't talk about it. This unfortunate waste of human life, why I believe in abortion sometimes, decided that he wanted to at me and say, James, this was directed towards you. Oh. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I responded, then I deleted it. Then I said, you know what? Fuck this person. And I went out there, and you know what I did? I told the truth about what I saw in practices, which is ironic because this is the funniest thing about all of this. And I'm saying this not to bash anybody, but I'm saying this so people can understand the foolishness in which FSU media coverage is at times. We had roughly between 10 to 20 guys show up during a couple of days. OG Charlie Hunt, one of the greatest, the only reason a lot of us are here, and we posted some of the stuff from his speech. We've got to forgive the mic volume. It wasn't that great, but we talked about this. Like we were told that we can't talk about practice, even to the tune of Jordan Travis throws a touchdown to Deuce Spain. But you know who was able to do that? The media, who was out there behind the fence, seeing everything that we saw. Who better to convey their feelings about how their university is than the fucking former players, man? Doesn't that make more sense? Like, or just say, hey, or everybody should get the letter from Derek Satterfield, like, hey, why are you? Because I'm looking at my phone, I'm seeing goddamn updates of practice, live updates. And it was wild to me. Wasn't mad, but I just thought that was funny. I'm like, yo, why can't this dude who has never taken a snap on a football field, probably even in high school, why does he get to say, why is he more qualified than the individual who played, who probably won't ever be at another practice again? And this isn't for me. This is for, I want to see, like Sam Coward was at practice. I want Sam Coward's opinion of the linebackers. You know why? Because he's a legend. That's why I want his opinion. And if he thinks they're good, he's good. But I also think a lot of us are wise enough to know that if we don't think the product is good, we're not going to just say it like right there. Not at that point. That's not the time. It's practice. But you know what else I'm qualified to talk on? I'm really good at talking. I'm qualified to talk on snacks. And what I will tell you is that in comparison to last year, Florida State's hydration and nutrition program is exponentially better, and that's how you win championships. I talked about the Powerade. The Powerade was phenomenal. It was great. They put 2 packets in that bad boy, and that's how you win championships. You don't win championships with having stepped on ass Powerade. I even went as far to tell the athletic trainer, like, hey, y'all did your damn thing with this Powerade. They had pretzels, they had cold pickles. The watermelon was watermeloning. It was very sweet. They had Mott's applesauce. They had fruit snacks. They had grape. Do you know how good a cold white grape is on a hot August day? It can have you reevaluating life, especially when you're banging and doing all kinds of other stuff. It's like a fucking concession stand out there. It was exciting. I was happy. I didn't eat breakfast. So I went out there. I was hungry. Florida State took care of me. And, you know, outside of that, the coaches were bouncing around. And I'm going to tell you this, and as I've said since spring, and I'm gonna be real. Like, a lot of people, when I post these things, I think, and this is why I think it's important for former players to have voices in media, or just in general, because when we speak, people know when you're talking about your alma mater or you're talking about certain things, you're speaking from a position of someone who truly, truly cares. And I will say they are better. They're exponentially better than they were at this point last year. I talk about Jared Verse in the same manner in which I talked about Jermaine Johnson at this point last year. But I said these things. I didn't know if Jermaine Johnson was that good or if we were that bad, because we were a 3-6 ball club. And I see a guy dominating a 3-6 ball club with guys that are undersized, as my then 8-year-old son noticed, because he asked if this is a high school team or is this a college team. He didn't come to these practices because he's doing his own practices. He's a little tired, but it was a renewed hope of renewed vigor. Jordan Wilson, the wide receiver transfer from Arizona State, is a red zone threat to the likes that we haven't probably seen since Greg Carr. It's a guy that you can throw the ball up, and the jump ball it's 50-50. He's going to catch it or at least be able to defend it, and you're not going to get an interception if you throw it up to the moon. He's got a chance. Deuce Spann, I think that's Spain, S-P-A-N-N, however you pronounce it, wide receiver transfer from, I believe, Illinois, played at Lakewood High School. Corey, shout out to Coach Corey Moore, very good coach, is so explosive and large that when he puts it all together, it's going to be difficult. You got and why I bring those two guys up, Michael Pittman as well. Michael Pittman is built like a running back. My bad, Johnny Wilson. My bad, I apologize. I did say Jordan Wilson. Johnny Wilson. Thank you for the correction on that, Timmy. What's important about these guys and why I like these pickups in the transfer portal, and they were much questioned because the stats and the production were not there. But these are guys that are almost like picking up high school recruits that are ready to play now. They have multiple years left. They're not one and dones. So when people say Dugans is trash on a recruiting trail, you got to remember Dugans just flipped his entire room right now. You add that with the Keyshawn Hiltons, who performed very well. I can name you 8 or 9 wide receivers who have made big plays in front of my eyes when I've watched 3 practices, 1 scrimmage and 2 regular practices. That's called depth. That's called doing things big. Jordan Travis has taken a step in a direction in his development. To quote the quarterback whisperer, and anybody who knows me knows who that is. Matter of fact, I don't want to misquote my guy. I want to pull it up and I want to say it right. What did my dog say? Boom, right there. Did it. Jordan has so much more football IQ than what he did last year. Now, there are some things that they're still lacking, but the plan is better, and if they execute the plan, you should be able to see them do more. And barring injuries, and even with some of the injuries they have had, that again, it's not my right to tell you how severe or how or how non-severe they are. But they have depth. They brought in 10 offensive linemen. And again, some of them with multiple years. The trenches are crazy. Fabian Love is looking good. Robert Cooper's looking good. But bigger than that, I've seen Fabian Love and Robert Cooper take time off. And then I've also seen Joshua Farmer, local 850 boy, go in and handle his own. Malcolm Ray, go in and handle his own. I've seen Dennis Briggs. I've seen Derek McClendon. I've seen Jared Verse. I've seen the D-line just this. They look way better than they did last year. I'm seeing competition at defensive back. It's like you see a. So I said last year that they were, like I said in the first spring practice, this is the best first practice that I've seen in the last 5 years. And I'm going to go and say that this is the best fall camp that I've seen in the last 5 years. Now, that added with the fact that I may be one of the few people in America who's actually not afraid of the schedule. I truly don't give a fuck about North Carolina State. I don't understand how anybody has them ranked that high. They are a good ball club, but I don't know if they're top 10, top 15. You beat Miami with a lesser squad. That's my point. So I don't understand all the hype with Miami because they didn't hit the transfer portal like that with success. They still have issues on the D-line and O-line. Now, they're recruiting lights out right now. Miami and Florida are recruiting like a motherfucker right now. That has shit to do with the 2022 season, though. Florida has had a lot of people leave. None of these things are terrifying to me. I don't understand why folks are just like, oh my God, woe is me. We don't have a chance. There's not even LSU. If you look at what LSU is still losing guys to the transfer portal. There's not if you really believe that there's a team on this schedule that Florida State can't compete with like that, then you are in doomsday mode, and you really do think Florida State's going to go defeat. You might as well say they're going to go defeat it. That doesn't mean we're going to win a natty because there's things outside of physicality and skills that you got to have in this game. I talked to Derek McClendon for about 20 minutes after one of the practices and just said, y'all got to learn how to kill people. You got to learn how to step on necks. You got to learn how to snap. So you got to kill it. You can't let that thing just keep sitting there. You can't keep getting leads on people and then letting them come back when all you needed was one more score. And you would have taken the will out of it. That's what the Florida State teams have been lacking the last 5 years is the ability to take the will out of somebody. I don't know if you can raise a killer. I think killers are born. Let me rephrase that. I think you could develop a killer. But I think the instincts are there. As I talk about my son, if the puppy don't bite, if it don't bite as a puppy, it ain't gonna bite when it's full grown. And right now, we got to see if maybe some of these puppies still got bite in them, or did they lose it? We won't know until we see them play Duquesne on August 27th. And when they play Duquesne, we'll see where they go with that. And if they can, they could jump and have a very impressive, I said 48 points, but that's a lot of points in a half against anybody. But if they come out 28-35 and that game is really out of reach and you're seeing some devastating hits and you're seeing guys pack it up and ready to go home, I've seen all I needed to see them. The problem is we won't know until then. And every other argument is futile. This is not last year's team. Completely different team. Now, going to University of Miami. We'll go to University of Florida first. University of Florida has been kicking ass in recruiting, man. And congratulations to G5 Billy. Like, yo, you got a plan. You executing it. They just released the football-only facility. They got space to actually stretch out their legs, unlike Miami, who released their new locker room where it looked like you can like if you kick your leg out too much, you can kick your person across the room in the shin. It's phenomenal. Good job. Kudos. Anthony Richardson, hearing good things about him at camp. I don't really know that much about it outside of they do have a schedule that you gotta fear. And if I were Florida fans, I probably wouldn't poke the bear at Georgia so much right now. Just chill out. Georgia still might whoop your ass, man, and that's a real threat. Miami, and this will go into some of the stuff that of my own news that we have, bro. John Ruiz then told y'all, hey, man, chill out. We ain't giving none of these. We ain't giving out too many more NIL deals because I don't see the return on the investment. What the fuck have I been telling y'all since the beginning about name, image, and likeness? I've told y'all these people did not get rich by being overly philanthropic. They ain't just giving out $1 million to jits without seeing the ROI. They got to be able to see something coming in. And from what I understand, I'm not sure Ruiz is paying his checks yet. Again, those are my sources. Have no idea how true or not true it is. Don't jam me up. You can look me up like y'all did my guy TJ Pitt. I'm broke. I love telling people I'm broke. I am by far not rich. And there are lawsuits that are going up against me. I've been deposed, all that stuff. None of that bother me. I don't know why people think I'm rich, because I am far from it. I'm cheap too. But that being said, one of the things that I don't think media has been doing, and I think Mark Rogers did a great job of letting me come on there. Shout out to 1010 for letting me talk about it on Friday. Nikanopi 1851, we just dropped some landmark news last week that very few people saw. And I don't know, as this goes in the FSU message boards and things like that, man, I want y'all to realize this. We now have the ability, like when you see these guys who've written these articles about one group's paying SMU athletes $500 a month, this group, right now, Nikanopi 1851 is that group. Right now, if you know a student athlete at FSU, tell them to hit me up, inbox me. If you're a student athlete at FSU, listen to this, you need to inbox me. We signed with 4 companies: Crypto.com, ZipRecruiter, Uber, and goddamn, I never get all 4 of the companies right off the bat, man. This is some BS, James. You're supposed to know this stuff. Give me a second. Let me look this up. Because it's sexy, man. When you start doing this kind of stuff and you start landing these deals, it's dope. And while I'm doing this, I want to shout out Mike Underwood for leading the charge. Oh, Fabletics, that's what it is. And so it's 4 landmark deals. We got on Mark Rogers, we talked about it. Name, image, and likeness. What this does is basically, if you're a Nikanopi 1851 athlete and you're signed into our base path technology, you get the opportunity to participate in this, and all you have to do is what we asked. I mean, it's real simple. Like it's what we ask you to do. It's a clear ask, clear give. So it's not free. You always have to do something. You do this, and then next thing you know, you're gonna get about I believe the estimates right now between $500 to $600 a month, maybe a little bit more. And as we land more deals, which more companies are on the way, you'll get more of that. And the reason why it's wild that nobody's covering this is because War Chant, 247, all these guys wrote article after article after article about NIL and Florida State's ability to compete. And what do we have right now? We actually, one, this is no knock on Roger Spears. Roger Spears doing their damn thing. But right now, we have a sustainable model that's coming over here with Nikanopi 1851 that literally benefits the guys who are not the top dogs. It does not matter if you're Jordan Travis or if you're CJ Campbell or if you're somebody whose name who's a walk-on that I don't know. You are eligible for the same amount of money is if you're a Nikanopi 1851 athlete. All you got to do is be a part of Base Path. All you have to do is, Nikanopi 1851 and our Base Path technology, and do what we need you to do. And boom, consistent check every month comes to you. You're representing 4 right now major brands, and we have multiple ones coming up. If that ain't big news, I don't know what to tell you. That's huge. So when you see guys not respond to things like that, not respond to they'll cover a camp of a former athlete that's got 20 kids in it, not one who's got 100 kids and gave out 2,500 book bags and fed 2,000 people. You got to start asking yourself, why? That's what, and the crazy thing is they better hope I don't keep getting, because again, it's the education piece is what we're doing with Micanopy 1851. So if I were you, I would start doing it, because what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna have my guys start embarrassing you at your job. They're gonna start asking you why you ain't cover this. That's big news while you're trying to do your job covering football. So if I were you, I would go ahead and start doing the right thing, especially when it was a slow news day. There's no reason not to give a blurb. Everybody got the press release. Why wouldn't you want that positive data to go out there? Former Florida State fullback, co-founder of Micanopy 1851, is a brand that name, image, and likeness company bringing money to all student athletes at Florida State. And I'm talking about, we got track team. We got most of the sprinters on the track team signed up. We got softball. We got everybody coming in trying to get this. Again, if all 500 student athletes wanted to do it, we could cover it. It only helps. Probably going to start an HBCU initiative, FAMU on deck, BCU on deck, and probably here locally UNF. Again, once you start getting into this stuff, it really don't matter, man. It's really dope, man. But I want to stress that it's a collective of two guys who started this, who are FSU grads, FSU alum, and I think it's been dope. It's been very rewarding. At times very stressful, but for the most part very rewarding. And it's cool because you get to impact these guys, because a lot of these people don't understand what $500. What $500 to you who are listening would probably it covers a bill. $500 to a student athlete is exponentially bigger. So between that and then some of the other cool things that we're going to be doing in the media, some of these other big deals, I'm telling you, you better jump on board now, because it's going to be real exciting. And some of the partnerships that we're making right now is going to be even bigger. So Fabletics, Crypto.com, Uber, and ZipRecruiter are the 4 brands right now that we've partnered with Micanopy 1851. So go check it out. And we're trying to have another educational mentorship series meeting. So if you want to go donate, go to Micanopy1851.com. There's a donation link right there to help us cover those bills with that. Moving into the Jaguars. The Jaguars, again, it's lion season. That's one of the beautiful things right now about this time of year. We all get to lie. It tell elite lies. And right now, everybody in Jaguar media is the best at elite lying. Right now, they're so good at lying that they lied about Urban Meyer, and now they're lying about their lies about Urban Meyer. It's crazy. Like, to me, the day that I stepped into this, it was like, and when I tweet, I have to say not FSU related, because the two teams I cover mostly haven't been very good outside of 2017 with the Jags. But it's like I'm having deja vu on Saturday and Sunday. The difference is that one media is one pro and one's college. But excuse me, Jaguar media right now is just like, oh my God, Trevor Lawrence, oh my God, he farts so great, he's so beautiful. Don't get me wrong, T-Law is doing good, but he's a sophomore quarterback, and he was 50%, he was 50% throwing against a hodgepodge of players against the Browns. The large human being, Myles Garrett, wasn't over there. That's a terrifying man. You didn't have to go up against that. You didn't go up against their best. Now, granted, you didn't have the best wide receivers either, but he did good. The Jaguars right now, and this is what's wild, this is how bad Urban Meyer was, is that they're going to win 6 to 7 games this year, and everybody's going to think we won a Super Bowl. Do you realize how hard it is to be as bad as the Jaguars have been the last decade? It is easier to win a Super Bowl than to be that bad. The NFL is not designed for you to be that bad that consistently. That's why they give you the high draft picks. You're supposed to hit on them. You're not supposed to miss on them that many times. It's a game of averages. So it's 17 games now. Everybody should be between 8 and 9, between 7 and 10 or 10 and 7. That's where most of the teams should lie, somewhere within that spectrum. So that means there's your 9 and 8, your 8 and 9s, something of that. If you're a game or two above average, that means you're a playoff team. If you're a game or two below average, you're a top 10 pick. You're not supposed to be a game or two below average consistently, and you're not supposed to be a game or two above average consistently. That's why it's amazing what the Patriots have been able to do. That's why it's also equally amazing what the Jaguars have been able to do. It's 1 year, if you remember correctly, the Patriots almost went undefeated, and the Detroit Lions almost went defeated. Yeah. Again, both are really difficult to do. Because no matter how you shake it, you've got 2,000 of the best football players on the field at the same time during the season. Eventually, something's going to happen. You'll luck into wins. It's kind of like if you're a high volume shooter, you'll luck into some draws eventually. Like you got to luck into a win. It's just extremely difficult. But what I will say is guys like Travis Etienne is looking pretty decent, looking healthy. We'll see how he goes. 17 games is a long time. You got Walker. I think it's Trayvon Walker. He is a good first round pick. He just wasn't a good first overall pick. But he's a guy that you want on your team. He's a guy you can build around. For the first time, he's not going to be Clavy, the LSU boy, clavicle chasing, who, for some, Miles, can you find, it's a clip of him doing this shit. I didn't think he would do this shit in a game. I don't, see, my problem with Taven Bryan and why I hated Taven Bryan as a person on a spiritual level was because I did not understand him. I sent you the Twitter link. I didn't understand him on a spiritual level. Like he had tweaks. Like he shut down. It was just like, yeah, I think it's this one right here. Like, and then when I was recovering from COVID a year ago, I woke up and bless his heart, Hayes Carline, who tries, works for 1010. He's very excited to be on the beat, and I get it. He posted a picture or image of Clavion, and he was getting walked out the club by Walker Little, who at the time, no, it wasn't even Walker. Was it Walker Little? Yeah, I think that Walker Little, who was from Stanford, who hadn't even played football in 2 years. It was very disturbing, and I didn't want to see that as my first football image after surviving death. It shocked me. It shook me. But and I didn't think I would see worse. But then I saw this, and I'll wait till Miles gets it up here. But we'll rewind it back. He did this in practice. This little jump, try to spin thing. Like I don't know what he's trying to like. It reminds me of like when you see these pirates board a ship, like they jump and then like they try to stab somebody or something like that. And I don't know if some pass rush guru tried to show him this or who does, but it never works. It didn't work in practice. It doesn't work in the game. I would slap the shit out of my son if I saw him try to do this in the game.
It's called the hezzy in basketball.
It's called get your ass cut. It's reasons like this is why I can't get overly excited because he's still on the field. Like and the question was posed, does he get cut? The problem with cutting him is it doesn't even matter, man. It doesn't even matter, bro. If you cut him, he's still getting paid. And you know what? In the grand scheme of things, get paid, young man. You tweaked the system and it worked out for you. I'm proud of you, but I just don't want you on this team. Maybe you'll go flourish somewhere else, but with the Jags, until you get this kind of shit addressed, it's never going to end well for you. Moving forward to My hate o'clock brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. Green Acre Sporting Goods is your go-to outdoors place. Right now they busy, man. It's arrow season. Go get you one of them crossbows, man. It is nothing like it in this world. You pull that bad boy out, it goes 12 inches of penetration, just like Davis's mom. If you listen to my guy, Mr. Go 30, who it's an easy kill on strike. They have guns. They got the pump shotty, the Tauruses. They still have all your favorite weapons. They still have all these different things that you can go and get. And I would advise you to take the concealed carry course, because that old man literally teaches you. I'm gonna call him Gunny. I don't know what his real name is. Just look like his name should be Gunny. But one thing he did was he almost made me not want to have a gun. And not because like guns are, bad. It's just the responsibility that comes with carrying a gun. And people can talk about this good guy with a gun narrative. They can talk about, well, the bad guys don't follow rules. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You're right when you say all of those things. Bad guys don't follow rules. You know what? Bad guys also don't give a fuck about you. When they come into a situation where they're strapped and they're ready to shoot, they're ready to shoot. You aren't a bad guy. So why are you even trying to put yourself in the same category? But home defense, taking care of your family, that is important. Everybody wants to be able to go home. And that's really what it all comes down to, is having the ability to go home. And this is why I don't carry in my car. It's because there are times when I'm a little angry or I get a little upset, and I don't even want the temptation to be able to go and grab. And the reason why I don't carry on my hip is the same reason. One, it's the first day of school. I got to drop my kid off. In the state of Florida, you can't have guns in school zones unless you're like a police officer. And I'm not. And before I'm glad you brought it up. I am going to go before I go into what the real thing is. I do want to tell people that I think a lot of our media is just more negative and amplified, because when you look the first day of school outfits are cold as hell, man. So many Jordans, so many like Amiri jeans and things like that. And if you don't know what that is, it's very expensive jeans, very, very expensive clothes. Some of it's probably knockoffs, but nobody cares. It's still pretty expensive. During my era, people were getting robbed for starter jackets and getting killed for these things. Like, they're not. Kids are able to go to school and do all kinds of stuff. Keep that that one with the little chunky boy, because I'm probably gonna end on that one. I was a little bit lighter. But one of my fears is that I don't think the kids are changing as much as the adults are. And one of my fears of having my son play tackle football wasn't my son getting hurt. That's part of football. Football is a violent game played by deranged individuals, and no matter what age. And right now, I only care about him having fun. I don't care if he's like all pro right now. I'm seeing this stuff where like there's these loaded U9 teams. I heard somebody say they do cuts, and I'm like, how could you cut a 10-year-old? Like, just keep them on a team. Don't play them. Develop them. They're 10. We don't know what's going to happen. Their nuts haven't dropped. They could be 6 foot tomorrow. Why would you do that to a kid? High school, middle school, I kind of understand a little bit, because you only have, you got roster restrictions and equipment. But like, Pop Warner, I'm going to pay you the $250. Give me my fucking equipment and let me do what I do. Let my son do what he needs to do. But one of the things that I'm noticing is adults ruin shit for kids. And we have a lot of beautiful things and a lot of things overhyped in African-American culture. But this machismo tough guy shit has got to stop. And a lot of it I blame. Men typically only do these things to get women to like us. Like, we dress very nice, we smell good. You want to be able to show that you can protect, that you got good genes, all this shit. But like, I'll never understand a man becoming rich or moving himself into a new tax bracket, but still feeling like he has to move like he's a goon, like he's a certified gangster. And what happened in Texas, and if you find the link, Miles, with the stuff, what happened in Texas at the end of a Pop Warner game, 9U, my son's age, was two men got into an altercation over the outcome of the game, and one man's life was lost in front of his son. 70 kids and probably thousands of more individuals' lives are completely changed from this day forward. Because somebody felt the need, and I want to really emphasize this. Somebody felt the need before we get into the argument of the football game. You felt the need to have a gun on your hip at a fucking Pop Warner game.
Right.
What about your life? Like, that tells me everything I need to know about your life before I go into the details of what a source told me. One of the best things and one of the worst things about having ascended to the levels in which I have is that I've got friends in media and I got friends all over the nation. And when I posted this, I got an inbox. Hey, man, the guy who died, that was a friend of mine. I know that guy. It's a good man. I also know the Talibs. Now, the guy who killed him is Aqib Talib's brother. Aqib Talib is a really damn good defensive back, played for numerous places from the hood, from Dallas, Texas, from the hood.
Hall of Famer?
Nah, he won't be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, actually, you never know. Hall of Fame so fucking watered down. Actually, not now. I definitely won't be a Hall of Fame now, but nonetheless, I believe he made over $100 million, or his last contract was a stupid big contract. And what Aqib has done is he's really, if you go and you look him up, he's gotten into commentating. He does a really good job. A lot of people will probably say he's like very much so like me, but even with more edge. Like, he's going to tell you how he feels about it. So I think he did a good job with that. He's got a gym. He's got a performance gym in the rich part of the Dallas suburbs, which was doing really, really good. And what he did was he created a Pop Warner. I say Pop Warner as a generalized term for football youth organization. It could be anything. It's the AYF. It's a bunch of other ones. But I'm just going to say Pop Warner because that was the first and what most of us know and are associated with. He created one for these young men in the hood. Now, the problem comes in the fact that he has he's employed guys who haven't let go of a certain mentality yet. Like, when I was looking at, and the reason why, and I love the hood part. I love the hood. I grew up in the hood. I have some of my greatest memories are there. My son isn't of the hood. I don't want my son being dog cussed. I don't care if a coach cusses around my son. I cuss around my son. But I don't want him being dog cussed like he's an adult. I don't want him being called a pussy. I don't want him being called a fuck boy or fuck ass nigga or any of this other shit. Because that's not the environment that's conducive for what he wants, for what I want. I want him to have fun playing the game. He ain't got to go to the NFL to get his mama out the hood. He doesn't have to do that shit. He gets to play for fun. And I also love being around my friends who are from those things, but you got to show me before I put my voucher on you that you will have turned a leaf. Because there are things that I've learned. If you haven't learned anything from Young Thug and these guys, there's a shit called conspiracy. And if you're gooning around and doing shit, that shit can fuck with me. Like, I don't want to go to jail for two things my grandmama used to say. Ain't no place in the world. It's nothing worse than going to hell on accident. And I would assume that going to jail on accident or without any knowledge of what somebody else is doing is that. But from what I was told is that Aqib, this is the environment in which they do when they lose games. They got to be aggressive to the refs. They're cussing out the refs. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So what happened at the end of this game is a pass interference call was given. Phantom. Everybody says it probably should have been called. They get to like the 1 yard line or whatever, and then that man, my son, the guy who passed, ran a quarterback sneak into the end zone. They win the game. They celebrate like you would celebrate when you won a close game. Aqib's side, his team, and that's why his name is in this, because he's yelling and cussing, and it's allegedly he tells people to go rush him. They go and they jump this coach. They rush him, and you can see it in there. You see him get to his feet. You see him grab a yard marker. This man is being surrounded by all sides. He's swinging the yard marker because he's getting fucking jumped. And then somebody ends his life over a youth football game. I hope they hit you with first degree. I hope they hit you with 70 counts of child endangerment. I hope they hit everybody involved with stuff. I hope they prove a point with you. This is close to Charleston White as I've ever been. If you don't know who Charleston White is, look him up. He's hilarious in the snitchitude. But the only reason is because this is so stupid. It's so childish that it makes absolutely no sense. I wouldn't want my kid. There are kids who probably don't want to play football anymore because of this. And football saved my life. But I can 100% understand why a kid wouldn't want to play football now. You just saw your coach get gunned down after you won a fucking football game. And this isn't new. I had a coach tell me a story about a classic football game down in Miami. They call it the Soul Bowl when Jackson and the West played. It's in a Trick Daddy song when he says that. Miami Northwestern was undefeated. They're kicking everybody's ass. They're losing to Jackson in the playoffs. They come back. And it comes down to a field goal. And Jackson misses the field goal. And I'm summarizing a lot of this stuff. They tell the coaches we gotta have a police escort get you back to your thing and wait until the news hits because everybody assumes you lost the game and we're fearful for your lives with the coaches.
So ridiculous.
Somebody tells the coach, says, "Coach, I'm so glad y'all won that game. We was gonna have to kill y'all." And they was like, "Nah, coach, you was gonna be all right. We was just gonna kill all your associates, your assistants." Over high school ball. People get shot over prep ball. I remember my first introduction to Pop Warner ball in Jacksonville, Florida was watching Sweetwater. Great organization. And I saw, it was like 5U. And I saw this guy, had to be average height of males, Jacksonville between 5'6" and 5'8". So I think this guy was 5'6". He looked like Plies. Reminded me of Plies. This 5-year-old kid, the pads weigh more than the kid at this point. Runs up, pretty good tackle, in my opinion. Dad walks on the field and says, "If you don't get out there and stop being a punk and go out there and fucking hit that kid, I'm going to take your fucking ass home and I'm going to give you a spanking." I said, damn. I said, bruh, like, kid is fucking 5. This ain't the NFL, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? But again, like, it's a lot of guys. And the reason why I have a fear is because, like, I tell Trey, like, you know, this is for you. Like, I want you, if you want to be good, we're going to make you good. We'll give you all the best stuff. But I've gotten every award I can possibly get now. Like, I mean, even when I coach, my running backs at my son's Godfather's school will tell you. I tell them every day, I don't want to fucking be here. I got my own kids that don't listen to me. But if you want to be good, I'm going to show you how to do it. But this ain't for me. There's not another award that I can get for being a running back or playing ball. I'm not going to the NFL anymore. I've already went to college. My eligibility's up. I do it because I want people to be good, but like it helps me not have to live vicariously through my kids. And I think that's one of the biggest problems And it's also unresolved things. Like, why do we feel a need to have to be so tough all the time? Like, Cat Williams used to have this thing with motherfuckers. He's like, motherfuckers angry at breakfast. You gang banging on breakfast? Like, when I was coming up, there was a safe place. Like, all right, we in the neighborhood. That's part of it. Okay, I get you. Turf, I got it. But like, can I not have a gridiron? Like, bigger than that, are we not? Can we not start showing these young men how to handle wins and how to handle L's?
Right, that part.
I always tell people, even if I think the coaches suck, that I'm happy that a man is volunteering his time to be around my son. But if you're that mad at life, go take your ass home. Do something else.
And you said his son was there. He scored the winning.
The son was on his team, and now his son might feel like I scored and I lost my dad.
Right.
I hope Akeem is held accountable for the psychological trauma that those kids are going through. Because say what you want to say. You didn't pull the trigger, but you were a part of it. You fostered an environment in which people felt like this was acceptable. And anybody who know RICO statutes and understand conspiracy, you can get thrown in jail for less. Conflict resolution is one of the worst, is one of the things that we're having the hardest time to deal with in America. I saw something where they were talking about obesity. We were talking about all this other shit. No, that's not what's killing America. The inability to be able to have this discourse amongst each other. It's not a black on black thing. Statistics show that crime is about proximity. I hate to tell it to you, white people kill white people. Black people kill black people. And the only people who commit violent crimes across the spectrum are typically more so young white men. But y'all don't like to look at full studies. But that's not what this is about. What it's about is that two men should have been able to have a conversation and understand that none of this changed the outcome of that game. And it's a game. But now the game has spilled over into real life and people's lives have been affected. I try not to get in arguments, especially anybody, but in particular black men. I don't try to take it to the level that it can get to because I was taught. My father didn't teach me a lot of things, but he taught me this. When I pull that bad boy, it's getting shot. And I ain't missing. Y'all talk about my hand grip all the time, but y'all don't talk about my accuracy. But I don't even want to get to that point. I've had conversations with my business partners because the thing is a lot of people see me in today's context, right? It took a lot to get me to this. One of the coolest things, if you ever come back home with me to Tallahassee, there are people who know me for a variety of different reasons. There are people who know who I was before I found football and are grateful for this. Because I was a wild boy, I like to fight. There are people who know me just from my football acumen, didn't follow up with me. And then there are people who see the guy right now who does the charity and the philanthropic shit. But when I go to these book bag drives and like my godmother talks about how me, my godbrother Steven, and my godbrother Darian made Miss James, our kindergarten teacher, retire after her first year teaching. Because all we did was wreak havoc and fight and do all kinds of other stuff. I think about Fairview Middle School, and actually Still Collins, my second middle school that I went to, deduce why I went to another middle school, if you will. But Miss Pla, actually, her daughter's son goes to FAMU High where I had my football camp, and she puts me on the phone and she talks about, man, I'm so proud of the direction in which you've gone because it could have went another way. I know those things, and I know those things didn't just go away. They're buried a little bit. So when people say, like, why didn't you do this or why aren't you mad? Like, I get shots all the day. People call me the fullback. They thought that I was supposed to be mad, but I love that shit because I am the fullback. they say, you know, they pick on my name, they pick on my company. I don't get mad because when I get mad and get emotional, I do shit. Like, that's why me and my dog Scott get along. Like, one of the funniest things with Diddy Thompson did on the show was he was like, why when you and Scott get around, somebody's always getting slapped? I'm not doing the slapping. Scott's way quicker to the punch than I am. But I try not to get mad because when I get mad, and I see red, I'm trying to destroy it. And I don't want to be the one to destroy a unicorn. Y'all say black dads don't exist. But when I see them every day. I see them coaching. I see them. Today was amazing when I see how many guys take their kids to school. My son's best friend, Charles, his dad, Junior, is an amazing dad from what I understand. And what I see, he's there, if nothing else. I couldn't, like, if I did that, it would have to be because you were trying to take me away from my children. And it wouldn't be because you beat me in a fucking football game. It's not even like the Super Bowl. Like, I didn't see the Super Bowl, maybe like shit, like, you know, something. But like, anyways, whatever, man. Again, it's just wow. And again, I hope it prosecuted to the fullest extent. I hope Texas does a lot of things. I'm going to take it to. I hope you get the death penalty because you took away a black father in front of his kids. You executed that man. That wasn't self-defense. Your life wasn't in danger. You had a fucking Pop Warner game. If you, and I want anybody who listens, if you got a hold at a Pop Warner game, reevaluate your life. On the reevaluate your life stuff, I talk a lot about the WNBA. I want the WNBA to be successful. That being said, there are two people who tell the truth without any filter. Drunks and children. And this child told the absolute beautiful truth about the WNBA. And I want you to understand, this is why there is no equality in pay. It's already a lost leader. Like, I can go ask most women who their top 5 WNBA players are, and they won't be able to tell me. I could ask you to name me 5 WNBA teams, and you won't know their names. This kid lives in the city in which the WNBA team is playing. He is going to their game, and I want you to listen to this. Can you play that noise for me, 2 Miles? I want you to listen to Jit.
You look like you're here with a bunch of friends. Are these all your friends?
No.
No? No. Okay, well then why are you here? Do you like Chicago Sky? It looks like you do.
I have never heard of this group. I have never heard of this.
You've never heard of Sky basketball, the women's team?
No.
You know they won the championship, right?
No.
You didn't know that? Well, now you do.
No, I do, but I still don't really know anything else.
All right, do you know who the Sky is playing today?
No.
What are you looking forward to today with this group?
The buffet.
We should get you on the court today, huh?
Okay.
Let me see how you shoot your threes.
I don't shoot threes.
You look like you're here with a bunch of friends. Are these all your friends?
I love him. He's the best kid in the world.
I can promise you this. That kid is not misogynist. That kid doesn't hate women. That kid loves food. You can see the kid loves food. That's why the WNBA isn't getting paid. Nobody knows who you are. The marketing is trash. We don't dislike you. It's just it's just not a good product right now. It might get better. I hope it gets better. But this kid lives in a city where you won the title. I mean, somebody should know you won the title, bro. But, nonetheless, hey. More buffets. I'll tell you this. That's creative. If you got buffets at your game, then that's a way to get people in. You are trending in the right direction. I will say that. But on that note, man, listen, guys, be good. I'm going to end it like a guy who started the ratchet culture. Jerry Springer. He had the most toxic show on the planet, and he would always end it this way. You know, take care. Be sure to take care of yourselves and each other. Thank y'all for chopping it up with me. Hopefully we won't take that long. Probably be back on Wednesday more than likely. Just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of travel. If you're in the Manatee County area, make sure you check me out. I'll be speaking at Motorworks Brewery. I think it's at 5 o'clock. We'll probably be there from like 5 to 8 p.m. I'm going to talk about the football season, talk about what to expect, talk about some of the things that I want going, probably answer questions about name, image, and likeness and how you can be involved. Some of the greatest knows around. I love the university. Love everybody around you. Love everybody around me. Again, appreciate y'all chopping up with me. See y'all later.